You felt it, even without wanting to, even denying it. This person has been coming back to your thoughts at the most random moments, in the middle of an ordinary day, during a conversation that didn't even relate, or in silence, especially in silence. It's not a coincidence, it's a return. It's a cycle opening up once again. But now with a different weight, a different urgency. This person couldn't move on. They tried. They distracted themselves, forced smiles, created new stories, but nothing fit the way it did with you. And you realize this. In your body, in the rhythm of your heart, in the way their absence doesn't disappear, it just changes places. It stays there, quietly waiting for a more sincere glance from you. This person doesn't return out of need. They come back because they understood, because they got tired of pretending to forget, because they spent nights trying to rationalize what was emotional. And they failed. You also tried to protect yourself. You diverted from what you felt. You placed other priorities in its place. But in certain moments, the memory comes back as if it happened just yesterday. This person continues to exist within you, even without contact, even with other presences around, because there's something there that hasn't been resolved. It has just been postponed. Now everything is about to collide again, not because the world wants to test you, but because it's time to acknowledge what still pulses, what still breathes, what still burns, even beneath layers of time. This person doesn't come with promises. They don't bring certainties, but they come with truth, with eyes that carry what hasn't been said, with the same silence you carry every time you think of everything that could have been different. And when it happens, you will feel it. There won't be a warning, but your body will tremble. The air will feel different, and your heart, even if wounded, will recognize. This person comes because they decided not to stay silent anymore. And because you deep down never stopped waiting, you've noticed there's something strange in the air, haven't you? It's as if things are starting to rearrange without your permission. You even try to focus on everything that demands your presence, your maturity, your logic. But something is slipping away, as if an invisible presence is slowly approaching. Without making a sound, without rushing, but with strength. This person, you don't think about it directly, but they invade your thoughts, in details, in that song. In the way someone turns their face, in small triggers that your body recognizes, even when your mind pretends to have forgotten. And again, you find yourself reliving sensations you thought you had moved on from, but in reality, they were just dormant, not finished, never really were. This person doesn't just appear out of nowhere. They come from an internal process you tried to ignore. They arise from what stuck between what was experienced and what couldn't be said. They are coming because now there is space. Space within you, space within them, space between the wounds and the versions of yourselves that you can no longer uphold. You know that feeling that something is about to happen, that something invisible is drawing closer even without you seeing it. Well, it's real. And it's not mysticism, it's perception. It's your emotional field recognizing a reunion before it happens. This person feels the same, even from afar, even in silence, even surrounded by voices, distractions, and activities. They've realized that ignoring doesn't protect anymore. It just delays. This person isn't coming back out of nostalgia. They return because they see there's something in them that still lives in you, and they've realized that it doesn't dissolve with time or with other attempts. They return because they felt the same emptiness that you feel when you think about everything that could have been different, and it's at this point that everything starts to tremble, because you didn't want this anymore. Not at this moment, not in this phase, but something inside you knows it's inevitable. Life doesn't postpone what needs to be addressed now, and this person is part of that now. You can deny it, you can call it nostalgia, neediness, emotional memory, but a day will come very soon when this presence will materialize before you, and nothing will seem normal. Because it isn't. This person doesn't come as a distraction, they come as a mirror, to remind you of who you were, and who you have stopped being, to heal what has been caught in your throat, to return parts of you that have been suffocated since the last time you looked each other in the eye. You will notice, in the moment, the heart doesn't make mistakes. Even after everything, even with open wounds, even with other stories piled up, this person carries the same gaze, but their eyes are more mature, filled with more silence, less ego, more truth, and you will feel unsettled, because no matter how much you prepared to move on, deep down there was still a question without an answer. There was still a what if kept away. There was still a part of you wanting this encounter, not to relive, but to close what was never closed. This person knows you in a way that no one else does, and that hasn't changed. No matter how far life has taken you, no matter how choices have distanced you, no matter how other people have occupied the physical space, their presence is perceptible, latent, constant. You missed them, even without admitting it, and now you feel fear. Fear of what this reunion may provoke, fear of reliving pain, fear of surrendering, fear of falling into the same place. But what if it isn't the same place? What if now you finally look at each other as you are today, not as you were? What if this time it's about truth, about liberation, about acceptance of what was, what wasn't, and what still could be? This person doesn't come with promises, doesn't come asking for anything. They come to bring a mirror and the chance to close a chapter, or perhaps open another. It depends on you. It depends on what your heart is ready to allow. But the reunion will happen. You already know. You've noticed. In dreams. In the signs your mind tries to ignore. In the synchronicity of words. In the repeated names. In the moments of silence when her image appears vividly. This person feels it too. You are not alone. She has also lost sleep for a few nights. She has thought about sending a message. She has also written and deleted. She has rehearsed 1,000 times what she would say. But now it's not about text nor about action. It's about truth. It's about what vibrates in the unseen, about what is perceptible even without being present. You already know there's no escaping this. It's as if life is saying, now go. Go all the way. Go without fear. Go all in. And you will, even with hesitation, even with a choked voice, even with doubt about whether to open up or not. But you will. Because you can't keep carrying this presence as absence anymore. You can't pretend you don't feel. You can't deny what is coming with such strength. This person, this story, this part of you that needs to be integrated. This person carries things of yours that you've forgotten. Small gestures, a phrase you said without thinking, a specific touch, a way of looking that only happened with you. She doesn't talk about it. She never has. But she holds on to it. And when she remembers, her body still responds. It still freezes inside. It still relives. It's not about romantic love. It's not about wanting again. It's about something deeper. About the part of you that stayed with her, and the part of her that never left you. This person won't come asking for forgiveness, nor explaining absences. She will arrive just like everything real always does, without warning, without makeup, without fear of showing her own failures. And you will notice it will be noticeable in the tone of her voice, in her hesitant gaze, in the first silence after hi, in the way she sits unsure of where to put her hands, in the contained nervousness, in the urge to say everything all at once, and in the impossibility of saying anything, because when the truth arrives, the body feels it before the words. This person will stumble over her own emotions. She will try to seem composed, but you will notice the tremor. You will feel the disarray. And everything that was stuck inside you will start to move again. It's not a coincidence, it never was. It's an invisible thread pulling both of you back to the point where everything was put on hold. You don't need to decide anything, not now. You just need to be whole, present, sincere with what you feel, without putting pressure on yourself, without trying to define. Just feel. Because this person isn't coming to hold you back. They're here to set you free, free from guilt, free from questions, free from what remained unspoken because pride got in the way, free from the version of yourself that had to harden to move forward. This presence will shake everything up. It will dismantle defenses. It will make you look again at things you wanted to forget, but it will open a new space, cleaner, more honest. And there, in this new place, you will understand. This person went through the same thing. They missed you too. They also wanted to turn back time. They also hid behind other stories. They also lied to themselves. But now, something has changed. Something has given way. Something has broken inside. And they can't keep pretending they don't feel anymore. You may not believe it. You might doubt. But when you come face to face, there will be no ignoring it. This person still sees you, the way no one else does. Without the layers, without the armor, without the facade, and this will disarm you. It will strip you emotionally. It will open gaps where there were once only walls. You might want to run, but you won't be able to, because this person holds you without intending to. They touch you without touching. They call out to you without using words, and deep down you feel you need this, not the relationship, but the reunion, the closure, the reconciliation with parts of yourself that got stuck in that time. This person is a mirror of what you tried to abandon within yourself, and now all of this returns with more clarity, with more perception, with more awareness. The impact will come, not in the first moment, but later, when the adrenaline wears off, when silence takes over, when you're lying down looking at the ceiling, asking yourself, how can this still affect me so much? This person isn't going to explain everything. She doesn't need to, because you'll notice it in the details, and the details say more than any speech. Maybe she won't stay, maybe she won't come back for real. Maybe all she needs to tell you is, you meant more to me than I ever imagined, and that will change everything. Because inside you, a part still needed to hear it, needed to know that it wasn't an exaggeration, that it wasn't a fabrication, that it wasn't love just for you. This person felt it too, she lived it too. She also tried to pretend, she also failed, and now she's coming back. You'll know when. You'll feel it in your body. It'll be noticeable in the air, it'll hurt, but it will also heal. Are you ready for this? This person will show you who you stopped being. No rush, no fuss, but with enough strength to break the silence you created. You'll notice it in your breath, in the way the air enters and exits when she says your name inside without pronouncing it. This reunion isn't about resuming an old path. It's about opening doors you locked out of fear. And now, for the first time, you can feel the key turning in the lock. You'll look at her, at this living reflection, and notice that the space between you doesn't exist anymore. It's an emptiness filled with the truth you both denied. And this truth will echo in every gesture. The tone of her voice, the slight tremor in her hand, the contained smile that seems to ask for permission. You feel your heart racing. Your mind tries to distract you with rational arguments, but your body, you realize, no longer accepts running away. When she approaches, fear will hit, fear of not knowing what to say, fear that the past weighs more than the desire to heal. But in that exact moment, perception will clear. It's not about perfect words, it's about pure perceptions, about feeling before thinking, about accepting that in the silence between what you share lies the honesty that was missing. You will be surprised to notice that this person brings something you haven't felt in a long time: raw hope. Not that empty promise, but a real possibility of connection, of gathering within yourself scattered parts, pieces that remained from a time when everything was left unresolved. You might doubt. You might think that pride will speak louder, but the same strength that made you drift apart is now working to bring you back together. When they hold your hand, if only for a second, something will change, because touch doesn't lie, and you will feel the softness of truth creeping in, invading every crack you forgot to close. And then comes the silent confession, a look that says, I understand, a sigh that speaks, I felt it too, a smile that says, now it can hurt less. It's in this space that you will recognize each other, not as you were, but as you are today, with new scars, with stories you had to face alone, and now you can share without fear. You will realize that you don't have to wear the mask of strength, that admitting vulnerability is not weakness, that this person, by showing their own, invites you to let go of yours too. You will allow yourselves the discomfort of being authentic, without a script, without rehearsals, without staged scenes, just two bodies, two beings, exchanging primal signals of healing. And then, suddenly, everything makes sense. The waiting, the emptiness, the fear, the pain, everything has been preparing for this moment. You will see that life does not turn in vain. That time does not erase but refines, that when you face each other there will be a space of reconciliation between what was and what can be. Do not expect grand gestures, do not expect grand declarations. It is in the yielding of silence that the strength of this reunion lies. When everything seems to flow in slow motion, take a deep breath and let it come. Let this person share what they have kept, and share what you have held back. You will notice a relief even in the midst of pain, because healing comes along with the pain that remains outside, and for the first time you will see, in a perceptible, concrete, undeniable way, that you were ready for this. This person doesn't return by chance. They come back because there's an invisible thread that hasn't broken. They return because something within them, and within you, has started to scream for truth. You both have carried this absence for too long. You have pretended to move on. You have told yourselves that it's over. But no story ends when it still resonates, and this one still resonates. Not because it needs to continue, but because it needs to be understood, felt, closed, or transformed. With awareness, this person is getting closer, with timid yet firm steps, with deeper eyes, with fewer certainties but more presence. And you will notice, the body notices, the soul acknowledges. You don't need to anticipate, you don't need to respond to anything yet. You just need to be fully present in the moment when this reunion happens, because it's not just about the two of you, it's about everything that has been hidden, everything that got trapped between unspoken words, accumulated resentments, and a nostalgia cloaked in pride. And now, all of this is coming to the surface, like a silent tide. That doesn't announce when it arrives, but transforms everything when it touches. Do you feel it? It's noticeable even when you try to deny it. This presence has a name you don't say, but think of. It has a scent that still lingers in some memory of your room. It has a touch that no other has been able to replace. And now this person is coming to return what was left, or to reclaim what they left in you. If this made sense to you, share it with someone who also feels this silent, living presence. If this reunion has already happened or is about to happen, comment below. I needed to hear this. Or write, I felt, if something within you was touched just now. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next messages. This journey isn't over yet. And if this really touched you, please give it a like. It's a small gesture, but it helps get this message to those who also need to recognize what they're feeling.